in southern Bolivia, at the southernmost point of the department of Chuquisaca. Here, some 800 kilometers southeast of the city of Santa Cruz, is where the region of the Cintis is found. The territory, measuring more than 13,500 square kilometers, twice the size of the Basque Country, is divided into two provinces, North and South Cinti. Scattered at altitudes between 2,000 and 3,500 meters, some 110,000 natives of Quechua origins live in 250 small communities. Given the region's dry climate, living at the foot of these steep mountain ranges, often without such basic commodities as electricity or running water, certainly cannot be described as easy. In addition to generalized widespread poverty, the acute problem of lack of equal opportunities for men and women also affects the development of their communities. Living in these parts is synonymous with isolation. Roads linking native communities with the capitals of the different municipalities are heavily damaged and frequently blocked by burst rivers, flooding and landslides during the rainy season. With no regular public transport, traveling even short distances takes forever, while long distances are simply impossible. This lack of communication affects everyone's progress, particularly women's. Normally, the men travel to the capitals to carry out administrative and commercial transactions. Women, meanwhile, stay at home, sometimes not leaving the community for years, completely isolated from the changes and progress that's taking place outside of them.
Sigue como decir el machismo del varón, que la mujer tiene que estar en la casa, que tiene que atender los hijos, los animales, y nada que ver vos, yo tengo que ir a las reuniones, hacer todo esto y vos en la casa nomás así.
Dispersion and isolation also have a negative impact on schooling, especially regarding the attendance of young girls and women. Schools and colleges are located in the municipal capitals, and parents often don't allow their children to travel these long distances on foot.
Hay un 26% que no asisten niñas y niños en la escuela. Más que todo esto se ve en el nivel secundario, con las mujercitas.
Tapi upapukai ko wawas ni ko mana anjakaro escola mas nambah hora media anje pri okupas ka kajas pagai ko tar bharnai ko ya ko manjai para ting anje pri okupas ka was ni ko manta kai ko monader ni kanjo ni ya autonya kana monai ko chai hina peno kai ko ni escola yo kalian tas kai ko monader jahna peno kai ko na ta chai ko ost Zapatar no hay preocupas que no tengo así como para tener escuchamos.
To solve this problem, some families decide to board their children in cheap municipal boarding schools. This supposes a huge financial effort by parents, who normally reserve this opportunity for their male offspring. In this way, many young girls are relegated to their communities where they carry out household chores and look after livestock, instead of going to schools to get an education.
Mi mamá estaba enferma y mi papá tenía mucho trabajo. Soltábamos las ovejas a las 9 de la mañana y llegábamos 4 de la tarde. Y por eso no podía estudiar.
Since the agroecological conditions of these lands are very favorable indeed, most families are farmers. Papas, cereals, and a wide variety of fruit, including white peaches and the best grapes in the country used to make quality wines, are the region's star products. Their lack of technological resources means that farmers use traditional methods and, consequently, produce only enough crops to subsist. They eke out a living by selling any small surplus they produce at local fairs. The same occurs with animal husbandry, whose production is almost completely destined towards feeding families and producing wool. In this region, only the raising of cattle and pigs is of a certain financial and commercial importance. The land used for livestock activities normally belongs to the community, while land used for agriculture can be either communally or privately owned. Recently, the Bolivian Constitution has established that the names of both husband and wife must appear on all family property deeds. Though there are no exact figures available for the Cinti region, we know that on a departmental level, women figure on only 15% of all property deeds. Since women are not owners, they are not socially considered as being economically active, and consequently, access to training courses, new technologies, and even marketing services is denied them.
También nosotros las mujeres podemos cultivar, hacer trabajos de la tierra para mejorar a nuestra familia, también para vender, ¿no?
On the other hand, in 1995, the Bolivian government passed a law concerning intrafamiliar violence and set up national police brigades to eradicate gender-based violence, thus giving women more ways to report cases of abuse themselves. Encouraging legislation indeed, in response to a very delicate problem.
La violencia física, psicológica, es mucho en nuestras comunidades, más que todas las mujeres, ¿no?, que sufren diariamente.
Ni manchaño que mana cancho apoyo y hinayatakan manchikui mana yatikunjui chay chakama hinayta kallamandacha falta polqstraigui.
For women, reporting cases of violence represents a considerable sum of money, since they have to spend their meager, hard-earned savings to travel to the district's capitals in order to complete legal formalities, a process that's often disheartening since less than 1% of the aggressors are given criminal sentences. On an institutional level, municipal governments and syndicates are the two political bodies where decisions that have a direct effect on the lives of farming families are taken. Municipal governments administer community resources through the figures of a Lord Mayor and 5 councillors, whereas syndicates are the farming community's own spaces for political representation and where decisions affecting the community are made. Surprising as it may seem, both institutions lack statutes or internal rules that regulate their function. This has permitted their governing boards, traditionally comprised of men, to pass laws concerning affiliation and participation processes according to their own personal criteria. This, of course, systematically violates the two basic rights of women, their right to vote and the right to be designated to hold posts in government bodies.
Nunca no hemos sido ni líder, tampoco un sindicato. Nos decían estas mujeres sucias que vienen aquí, opinan mal, que se vayan nomás, nos ponían falta.
Hasta ahora se tiene afiliados solamente a los varones. Ellas tienen el temor de quitarle autoridad a su esposo, no lo asumen como su derecho.
However, the Bolivian government has recently made important advances and passed laws contributing to the political participation of women. Today, increasingly more and more women hold posts of great responsibility within municipal government syndicate committees, secretariats, and councils. ZABALKETA, the Basque NGO, and NGO Centro, the Bolivian NGO, have been collaborating in these important advances for years, developing projects aimed at promoting gender equity in this region of the Cintis. Positive outcomes are now starting to be observed, such as the increasing presence of women in decision-taking posts, the fact that more and more young women are completing their secondary education, and cases of violence against women are diminishing.
A través del programa que viene ejecutando el Centro Ayni junto con ZABALKETA y con el apoyo de la Agencia Vasca de Cooperación al Desarrollo, queremos construir una sociedad más justa y equitativa,
para que en el futuro ninguna mujer esté relegada ni discriminada en sus comunidades.
The Ayni program fights so that when tomorrow comes, no Cinti woman in the heart of these mountains will feel discriminated against.